Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Ride Option Podcast. Oh my goodness. It's everybody's favorite time of the week. The time where Andrew Pasquini and Jason Aponte share their thoughts on the San Francisco 49ers. You are in the right place. This is the Sprint Ride Option Podcast, part of the Blue Wire Hustle Network. I am the aforementioned Andrew Pasquini. That is the aforementioned Jason Aponte. And Jason, how are you doing today? Without divulging any thoughts into the 49ers yet, because I just want to know how Jason Aponte, the human, is doing, not Jason Aponte, the 49ers fan, is doing.
I'm tired, Andrew. I'm tired about both. So
just tired. Jason is tired, guys.
I'm just tired. And this team is literally sucking the life out of me right now.
Hey, it's football, man. We're having fun. Yeah, no, it's I was telling you before we started, we've done this for 20 plus game. Oh God, what game is that? 8. We did 16. This is our 24th game we've talked about on this podcast. I think this is the review that I've least looked forward to. Because I just don't know where to go. And I mean, obviously, Jason, I'm not sitting here to say we have the answers, because we don't, right? And I don't know who does. But it's really hard, because I do try and look at sports, with a glass half full mentality of like, hey man, it's just sport. They'll be fine. Everything will be fine. And I'm finally teetering to the thought of this season's done. This season's probably like, I'm not gonna say it yet. I'm not gonna say it yet. I'm not saying the season's over, but you look at losing to the Arizona Cardinals 31-17, and if you wake up in a coma on Sunday and you say, hey, how'd Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins do? They must have done pretty good. And you look at the box score and you see it's Colt McCoy and James Conner. I mean, I don't think I can think of a regular season loss that was this discouraging to me personally since probably the Seahawks 49ers Thanksgiving game. The famous, Sherman has the turkey at the 50. I know there's probably been other candidates, but like just not even a sure. This one sucked. This sucked. This absolutely sucked. The team did not play great, and that's putting it nicely. There's little individual spots we can look at that look good, but as a whole, it's not good.
No, and this is the lowest of the low in the Shanahan era. Yeah. Felt like Jim Tomsula, felt like Chip Kelly. Days later, I still don't have anything else really good to say about it. I haven't come away with much positive from it. And you don't have to say it, but I'll say it. The season's over.
Oh, okay.
The season's over. This is it. I mean, just everybody needs to stop fooling themselves at this point. And the season will really, really be over on Monday night. So, I mean, there's your Rams preview as well, too.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to withhold the Rams game, and that's when I'd say it's over. Because, like, there's a world they beat the Rams, right? I don't know if we're living in that world. That world might be in a universe far away. But there's a world where they do beat the Rams, and maybe the conversation's a little different. It's really hard to convince me that a team that made Colt McCoy look very good is going to beat a team that has Matthew Stafford. Like, I don't see it.
I mean, this week was a weird week for football. Buffalo loses to Jacksonville. Dallas gets destroyed by Denver. The Rams lay an egg against Tennessee without Derrick Henry. The 49ers lose to the Arizona Cardinal B squad. So I think we should have known going into this game that it was going to be weird. And this is what I was warning about last episode. Why are you guys acting like, oh, Colt McCoy can't get it done? And and you know what? And I think what's the most frustrating portion about this is the same answers after the game, the same thing every single game. Slow start, execution, no answers at the end of the game. I mean, the 49ers have maybe 5 good quarters of football in 10 weeks. 5. Literally. That's 3 in Detroit and then like 1 or 2 across the rest of the games.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how bad they've been. They're not a good football team. And I'm sorry. I don't want to be on here and I don't want to get all negative and everything, but it is what it is. I'm not sugarcoating anything. I got a lot of problems with you people. I'm airing my grievances. This is Happy Festivus. Come early. I got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're going to hear about it. No, it's just there's nothing good about this, and there's no good way to frame any of this right now.
No.
There really isn't. I mean, to put up that performance was putrid, disgusting, absolutely disgusting. The 49ers haven't won a home game in 35 years. That long. It's just, I mean, I'm not even gonna sit here and act like there's anything really good to take away from this. I mean, we'll point out some good things like, you know, Brandon Ayuk's back, Deebo Samuel's the man. Hi, George Kittle, nice to see you.
Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah, Elijah Mitchell, Jimmy Garoppolo played fine, but to put up that performance against Colt McCoy, like if this would have happened in Kyler Murray and everybody was there, you'd have taken this and just been like, okay, that's it. The Cardinals are just really good. For Chase Edmonds to leave this game in 2 plays and him be out, no RB1, no quarterback 1, no wide receiver 1, no JJ Watt. Embarrassing.
No AJ Green.
Absolutely embarrassing. Embarrassing, man. And we got a donation, so let's get to it. Rico Westbrook, thank you for that. Just play all the rookies at this point. Develop. Yep.
I mean,
one more thing I want to say before we I'm gonna go off a little bit here. Just make sure you hit like on this video. You know, send it up in the algorithm and everything. Josh Norman.
Yeah.
Get off my team. Get off my team. Get off my team. And I am furious at you, Kyle Shanahan, because you always want to play the hard ass with everybody, but you don't want to play the hard ass with somebody who's been here 5 weeks and is putrid in coverage. Disgusting. I'm tired of this hard-nosed act with everybody and blue chip players, but you allow Josh Norman to go out there, do that, and then when people are trying to calm him down, have him fight too. It's one thing to suck in coverage. It's a whole other thing to cost your team yards, okay? One more thing, Kyle Shanahan. Keep that same energy 1 through 53 with everybody on this roster. I'm tired of you picking who you want to be nice to and who you're going to wrap your arms around. I'm tired of it. You know what? Other guys in that locker room notice what's going on. They see that, okay? And if you know what else, man, if Diamador Lenore wants to go out there, you want to play him. If you want to play Ambry Thomas and they're getting roasted in coverage, fine. Guess what? They're developing. You're not developing some washed veteran.
Yeah.
He's washed. And the reason that you're playing him is because he's a veteran, right? Well, when that veteran sucks in coverage and is costing you yards, what are you even doing on this field? When you tell him to leave the game, you do what Mike Singletary does, and you send him to the locker room.
Yeah.
And when the game's over, you call John Lynch and you say, get him out of here. There's my rant. That is disgusting. And that is encapsulating of the 2021 49ers in a nutshell. Kyle Shanahan, I got a problem with that. And I hate that you stood up on that podium and said, yeah, I just wanted to bench him for like the game or whatever. And you're going to run him out there on Monday night. I hope Cooper Kupp goes off for 255 yards just so you learn your lesson.
Yeah. And that, honestly, I think that was going to be my biggest surprise is Josh Norman was on the team come Monday. It's really, and obvious. I tweeted out, I had to delete it because I forgot Lenore isn't with the team right now. I think he had a kid. You know, but I guess the point still stands is, you know, because he's been benched for Norman multiple times, even when he's been on the rosters. There's no way Diamador Lenore is worse than Josh Norman. There's no way. To me, I just don't see it. And yeah, Jason, you make the best point, right? Is Josh Norman's making these mistakes. What's the worst that's going to happen? Diamador Lenore is going to make the mistakes, and we're at the same point. But at least with Diamador Lenore, these are learning, and Ambry Thomas, not even just Lenore, Ambry Thomas, you know, anybody you want to list. And it's, I don't know why they're afraid to play the guys. Cause like, you want to talk about another position that didn't have a good game, and I'm going to ignore the right tackle because I'm hoping that's a one-off that he doesn't play again. Daniel Brunskill hasn't been very good. Daniel Brunskill hasn't been good at all. And you spent a second round pick, and I know I talk about this team, and like, I don't know, am I missing something? Is Aaron Banks like hurt, or is he just not on this roster? Am I forgetting something?
No, it's big brain activity right now. Your first 3 round picks, we're not going to play them.
just not going to play them. And like obviously Trey Sermon doesn't play, but that's because they hit on a pick in the 6th round or the 5th round, whatever it was. And it's like, okay, then why was Trey Sermon necessary? Things like that. And this team doesn't, they just don't play the young guys until they have to. I mean, you see Talanoa Hufanga, who didn't have a fantastic game, full-time safety. But at least he's learning and he'll get better at that. He's not great in coverage, but he's fine in other places. Maybe he's more of a linebacker now. We
But
maybe
he's
know,
developing.
but
He's
exactly.
learning things. But he's learning things. I have a
Yes.
problem with a guy who has been in this league and is not good. And you're not good. And now you're not helping with penalties. So you know what? Put the kid out there, Ambry Thomas, whoever. Let him get cooked, but let him learn.
Mhm.
What are you learning from Josh Norman?
And that's my point too. It's from the other side with Hufanga, since that's the example I chose, right? Is you maybe learn a little, some things. Maybe he's better in a linebacker spot more often than safety, things like that. The team's learning, and Hufanga's learning on what to do in the NFL. So like, I just to me, if because I remember Shanahan had the quote a couple weeks ago where he says, "Hey, we're not gonna play the rookies extensively or give them time just because until we're out of it." Where what's his line of like mathematically out of it? Like if it's mathematically out of it, we're not going to see these rookies until week 14, 15.
Oh no, you'll see them. You'll see them after this Rams game.
Well, that's my question is what is Kyle Shanahan's definition of done? Like that's my thing is like if it's the literal term of done where it's mathematical, these rookies aren't going to be playing for a while. And for me, man, it's just like nothing against Jimmy Garoppolo, nothing against him. He played fine. He wasn't the best, but he played fine. Dude, like you traded up 2 first-round picks to get this dude. You got to play Trey Lance at some point. And this isn't even a quarterback specific situation. This is Daniel Brunskill. Obviously, he's better on the outsides than he is on the guard. Aaron Banks exists. Why is obviously Elijah Mitchell's the every down running back, so that kind of makes sense. You're getting your rookie, but you're not getting the rookie you traded up to get. You get other positions, and it's just insane to me that they're not getting run. And like what you remember when I texted you way back when in the preseason and in week 3 of the preseason where they're running this 2 quarterback system and they're moving on the Raiders, the Raiders second team, take it as you may. And I'm texting you like, do you think that this can work? Like this looks like this is something they're going to do. Where's that? Like, where's that? Where's the Trey Lance packages that we're being told about? Things like that. Fred Warner's another guy who hasn't really been much this year. Fred on more blitz, things like that. It's just, and I don't want to say this team's bad. Okay.
It's a bad football team.
Let me define it real quick. I'm going to get you on semantics, Jason.
Yeah, this is a bad football team.
I think this team is worse than a bad football team. I think this is an underachieving football team because to me, the Giants are a bad football team. The Texans are a bad football team. Close your ears, Don Burr. The Lions are a bad football team because you look at that team. I mean, we looked at the Lions in week 1 and we're like, who are these players? Who's the receivers? Who's the playmaker on this team? And you look at the San Francisco 49ers and you say, okay, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, like legitimate playmakers. Then you go on the defensive side of the ball. You got Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, D Ford, if he's healthy, Jaquiski Tartt, Jimmy Ward, and you look at the pure talent this team has. This isn't a bad football team. This is an underachieving football team, which is worse because if the Niners were bad, these answers would be easy, or these questions would be very easy to answer. If we were a Lions podcast, we would have a very easy way to do these podcasts. Like this is what we expected. But this isn't a bad football team. It's an underachieving football team. And that's what makes this worse and what makes it hurt more because what's the Ted Lasso quote? It's the hope that kills you. There was hope for this team and now there is none and they've lost it. And I mean, do we want to talk about the game at any point? It's just specific things we saw. Cause there's one thing I want to talk about, but I'll let you obviously get your last thought on this conversation.
Yeah, Big Daz, thank you for the donation, man. Shanahan lost in the Super Bowl still haunts him. That's why he's focused on now so he can get back and redeem. Also, Shanahan has to give up personnel control. Yeah, you know what, Andrew? Me and you usually don't disagree, but here's why I'm going to tell you this is a bad football team.
Okay.
I literally pointed out that there's been 5 quarters of this football team playing well. 5.
Yep.
It's a track record of way worse, way bad, way more bad than good. And turnovers, penalties, not knowing where you're supposed to be. This is a bad football team. And the reason that they're a bad football team is because of the hope that they gave this fan base by talking about a year that was impossible to duplicate. I cannot stand what they did this offseason. 2019 vibes. This team has 2019 vibes. No chance in hell that was possible. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, you're looking at what's happening across the league, right? The New England Patriots, no matter what happens to them this year, they have hope. You know why? They're developing their rookie, and they're going into the next season with him with a year under his belt. The Chicago Bears just went on national television, and if you talk to a Bears fan right now, do you think they're upset they lost that game? Or do they feel good because their quarterback's getting reps and they're getting ready for the next year? So you mean to tell me that you trade up for this kid, and you try to run it back, and that's your mistake, and now you have no sort of optimism with this team going forward, okay? Now, here's what I'm talking about. Here's what a successful season for the 49ers really realistically should have looked like. Getting whatever your record is, but Trey Lance ascending and going in the direction, and you preparing this team for the future because Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to be here next year. It's not Jimmy Garoppolo's fault. He's not the one who kept himself here. He's not the one who flirted with every single able-bodied 2-arm quarterback under the sun. This is a bad football team because it's poorly constructed. It has top-end talent. Yep, Trent Williams, George Kittle, all that's true. But when you get past those guys and you start to look at how this team is prepared and the way they look on the field, this is a bad football team. Mm-hmm. Rip the label off this team. You're looking at the Jets. You're looking at the Jaguars. You're looking at that sort of team. I'm not sugarcoating anything anymore. I'm done with it. There's no optimism. There's no say something positive because this team blew it from the door. You had a chance to do the things that if this team was at this record right now, let's just play this one. Let's say this team was at this record right now, but Trey Lance started week 1, but he's showing definitive steps.
Totally different.
Totally different.
Totally
you think this fan base would be upset? No, but you sold everybody a dream about 2019, acting like that's duplicated. How many people get back to the Super Bowl? Doesn't happen. You blew this. No. It's on this front office, and it's on this team, and the way that they're constructed. They're not good. And Monday is going to be a bloodbath. I hope I'm wrong. Monday is going to be a bloodbath. And for everybody out there who's trying to tell me that we own the Rams, go to sleep.
We'll find out.
Please go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
It's only 5:45 here in Niner territory, Jason, so it's a little early for bed.
Yeah, no, go to sleep.
Yeah, I was gonna make a Red Wedding reference, but this wouldn't be a surprise because the Rams, man, that's who the Niners get to play, and that's the Friday podcast. We're here talking Niners, Cardinals, and
can't wait. And the Rams are upset.
The Rams aren't going to be happy.
Yeah, they just got embarrassed on national television at home. Sean McVay got up in front of the cameras right after and said, "Hey, man, this one falls on me. Must be nice."
That's weird. Wait. Head coaches can take fault? Sorry, that was a leading question.
I mean, look, Kyle Shanahan said after, whatever this week, it starts with me, but I'm tired of hearing that. We know. If I hear one more time we need to execute better, I'm going to puke. What does that mean? How do you fix it? Stop talking about it. Do it. Why are they not listening to you?
It's really at a point where they're trying to get a round peg in a square hole. They're just trying to, they're literally like, hey, we need to do better. And then just doing the same thing week after week after week. Trying to do better is figuring out the ways to get that 20-year-old quarterback on the field. They can't even pretend to get him on the field at this point. There's no thoughts of getting him on the field. And yeah, I think, Jason, you hit the hammer on the head, whatever it is. This season, the 3-5 Niners with what it's been feels totally different than 3-5 Niners where Trey Lance has played. Because like Jimmy Garoppolo is always a start in the year. So let's say he just picks up from the Arizona game. a 3-5 Niner team with Trey Lance picking up from the Arizona game feels better because at least we feel like we're seeing some sort of progression or at least answers, dude. Like we don't even the thing is we don't even know if Trey Lance is an NFL quarterback yet. Like we don't know if he can if it's actually going to work. And we're not even getting that answer. And now we're going to go into a season next year where there is no fallback. Trey Lance is likely the starter, and he's going to be a quote unquote rookie quarterback because he's not getting these reps. And then, like, as I said, obviously the quarterback position is the sexy position to talk about this because the Niners traded up to get Trey Lance. This is a team-wide situation where just none of the young guys get reps. Period. Ambry Thomas, is Ambry Thomas on the team? Like I know he wasn't great in the preseason and the reps he's had. Some point, man, it's got to be better than Dre Kirkpatrick, which I feel bad for Dre Kirkpatrick because that play is going to get shown a lot. the touchdown, which just
he got meat by the
Roadrunner. And that happens, right? Like, but unfortunately, it had to have like if that happens to Fred Warner, right? Which I know totally different position, probably not the same dynamics of a human body, all that fun stuff happens to Fred Warner. We're looking at like, okay, it happens, but it happens to a cornerback on a team that's refusing to play the rookie quarterbacks. And now it's like, why is this guy on the field? And like, Dre Kirkpatrick isn't the villain. Dre Kirkpatrick is, not great. He's not great. He hasn't been great. Obviously, the Niners secondary hasn't been great since Jason Verrett got hurt.
But they rolled the dice, and that's how they wanted to build their roster, too. That's what we talked about all off season. Where are we hurting? Cornerback. If Jason Verrett gets injured, well, guess what? Unfortunately, Jason Verrett got injured, and it looks like last year was the exception as opposed to the rule going forward. Again, poorly constructed team. Again, this is not a good football team, Andrew. You can't sugarcoat it anymore, bro. That's it, man.
And I mean, we look at we go back to our position previews, right? And we talked about running backs fine, which it has been, right? But like you look at the positions we said not fine, cornerback depth not good. The offensive line will be fine. That right guard position maybe a little sus. We don't know, and it's like they tried to address those positions in the draft with Lenore, with Thomas, with Aaron Banks, and those guys just don't play. So, we didn't go into this episode intending it to be a let's rip on this team for everything, but like, what is there to talk about? Do we want to talk about how the Niners gave up a 3rd and 18 on a check down pass to James Conner that Azeez Al-Shaair missed a tackle on, but fans don't want to remember that because Eric Armstead got called for a horrible penalty. But we can talk about that 3rd and 18 they allowed, but it's easier to blame the refs. Miguel, thank you for the donation. Shanahan's lost the locker and the confidence of rookie. He's been there for 5 years, traded 3 first pack, has no excuses.
He has one more excuse. He has one more in the bag, and that's why he'll be here next year.
Yeah, well, he has 2 excuses. The length on his contract, because if they fire him right now, they're on the hook till 2025.
But they won't, though. And I mean, here's the excuse.
They won't. No, yeah, I'm saying they won't either.
Here's the reason here's the last excuse for Kyle Shanahan. This is it. You're going to get 1 year with Trey Lance. And this is the problem. And this is what this is my conspiracy theory that I think is absolutely true and not even a conspiracy theory at this point. You could say whatever you want about Trey Lance not being ready. That's fine. Whatever. Cool. Kyle Shanahan knows day one, as soon as Trey Lance starts, the clock tick, tick, tick starts moving. Because the one excuse that you still have and that people are still giving you is he's never had his guy. But when your guy starts, and if he doesn't hit the ground running, because now you're seeing other quarterbacks progressing, you're seeing Justin Fields after reps, you're seeing Mac Jones be the guy they thought, you're seeing Trevor Lawrence, the same thing. Now, unfortunately, Trey Lance has a lot of pressure on him to perform, and that's not his fault. No. If he would have come into this season starting day one, no one would have faulted him for going through the bumps and bruises. But now, sitting a year because you think you're smarter than everybody else, you're gonna put this kid in a position where if he doesn't hit the ground running week 1 next year, then it's gonna be absolute chaos and madness, and that is Kyle Shanahan's fault.
I mean, obviously not an apples to apples comparison here, but going into the season, Matt Nagy was on a hot seat. Matt Nagy was on the hot seat, and he probably still is a little bit. I don't pay attention to the Bears as much as I should. But part of the reason he was on the hot seat, it's like you traded up to get Justin Fields. Why the hell is Andy Dalton the starting quarterback? And now Andy Dalton no longer the starter. They committed to Justin Fields. I don't hear as many people calling for Matt Nagy's head anymore because he's doing what is best for the Bears. He's not trying to win football games. I mean, he is, because I think Justin Fields is a better quarterback than Andy Dalton right now, but he's also developing a rookie. And that helps set up the Bears in 2022 and beyond, because Justin Fields is getting these reps, man. These late game situations against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Football, yeah, they lost. Justin Fields learned a ton last night. Maybe even learned a little bit about how the refs may or may not be rigging things. Who knows? I don't know. Cassius Marsh, 49ers legend. I don't know what he did. But the Niners don't even have that right now, man. We're running our head and into the wall over and over with Jimmy Garoppolo, and it's likely that the Jimmy Garoppolo we got on Sunday is what peak Jimmy Garoppolo is at this point.
And I feel bad for him.
And that's unfortunate, dude, because yeah, no, it's a terrible situation. It's not a terrible situation. He got his money. It's fine. But like, he comes in, bad Niner team, he plays above average for 5 games, makes him 6-10. He gets that extension. And I don't blame the Niners for giving it to him, because at that time, I mean, not just at that time, in general, man, if you think you have a quarterback, you need to lock him up. That's just what this league is now. That's just what this league is. And so you keep playing him. You know what he is now. You know what he is, not even going into week 9 of the 2021 season. You know what he was going into 2021. So that's why you trade up and get Justin Fields, or excuse me, Trey Lance.
Yeah, we wish.
I
don't even know. But I don't even know if we wish.
We don't know. Yes, we don't know. But the reason we say we wish is because we're seeing a little bit of what Justin Fields can be. Mm-hmm. Right. And like, it's like, we're not even seeing what Trey Lance is. And who knows if the situations are reversed where the Niners get Justin Fields and Trey Lance falls to the Bears. We can be talking about how good Trey Lance looks because Matt Nagy gave him the keys. And we're talking about how Kyle Shanahan, doesn't play Justin Fields. And so now we're at a point where we know entering 2021 what Jimmy Garoppolo is. And the Niners had an option. The Niners easily could have moved off his contract. Easily, and said, "Hey, the keys of the car go to you, Trey Lance." Who I don't know, man. I'm tired, and I keep getting them mixed up. I hate that I get them mixed up.
This team is bringing my mood down, man. They're messing with my head, man. I'm telling you, same thing to you. I mean, you're just better at being nicer about it than I am.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to find the nice words, but but you're trying to tell me that Jimmy Garoppolo is magically going to become what he was in 2018, which was above average to decent quarterback. That's not going to get it done. That's just not going to get it done. And it's not on Garoppolo. He had expectations that were on him, kind of like Trey Lance is going to have next year with that contract. And he just ended up being who he was. And now the Niners are stuck with that decision, and it's something that they had their chance, man. The one that I lose sleep on, if I don't lose sleep on any of this, but like the one that I hypothetically lose sleep on is the Matt Stafford one, because that one felt real. That felt like the truest chance. I know Tom Brady was a thing. The contract with Garoppolo was a little harder to deal with, and if they couldn't move off of it, they couldn't move off of it. And I'm going to tell myself that's the reason they didn't move off of Garoppolo, is because they couldn't move the contract. I'm not going to even go into the world of the Niners thought Garoppolo was better for the team than Tom Brady. I don't want to go into that world in my brain. But the Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch made this bed, and now they have to lay in it, man. And that's just what it is. And this isn't me calling for any of their jobs. I know, because here's my thing. The Sprint Red Option podcast is still a very, we're an Only Shans podcast, but, and I think I speak for Jason, I think it's time to start raising questions. It's really time to start raising those questions.
Someone, if not many people, are going to be the fall for this.
Yeah.
And one of them is not Kyle Shanahan.
No.
You can do the math on who you think that is.
Yeah.
So, yes, hey, all right. Let's say something positive.
Say something positive. Let's go. 29 minutes and 35 seconds into the podcast. Positive time. Let's go.
Brandon Ayuk.
Very good.
Hi, nice to see you, pal. There you are. And that's it. Fumble aside, everything else looks amazing. Looks like the guy that was still getting open on film, but apparently running faster in practice. So that helps a lot. He's just hustling more, blocking more. Obviously, those contested catches were great, but Brandon Ayuk, that's it. That's it right there. Best game of the season. So, yes, say something positive. Brandon Ayuk. Way to go, man.
Boom, Brandon Ayuk. Let me say something not great. There was multiple incidences in this game where I looked at this team and like it goes into the depth concerns. And there was plays where I look and I say, man, it would have been nice to have Javon Kinlaw there. I looked at certain plays on the offense and was like, man, more often than not, I said, man, it'd be really nice to have Mike McGlinchey in that situation. You look at the secondary, or the safeties, the way they played, boy, be great to have Ward and Tart, and
I'm absolutely fascinated to watch how this right tackle thing plays out, because here's the caution that I'm going to throw to you guys. I'm not going to say this man's name on the podcast because you already don't want to get me more fired up about it, because I knew he was going to be the first one off the bench when McGlinchey went down.
Yeah.
The problem is, what if Jalen Moore can't just move from left to right? Because everyone seems to think this is Pop Warner football, and because he played left tackle, he can just move right over to right tackle and it's fine. I'm sure you'll live with the bumps because we know what Tom Compton is. Damn it, I said his name. We know what he is. But
you say it in a mirror 3 times at midnight, he might appear.
If you say it in the mirror 3 times, you get blown by for a sack. But here's the problem. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. Why don't you get up there on the podium and when you're talking, Kashan, and be like, "Yo, Tom Compton was dog water today." Man. Oh my goodness, man. But anyway,
yeah.
But what if Jalen Moore isn't as plug and play as everyone seems to think that he is? Because this isn't Pop Warner football. You don't just move from left to right tackle, and it's 2 completely different positions.
Yeah.
Just you think that it's going to be as easy as all that. And Von Miller's going to play in this game on Monday. Leonard Floyd's going to be lined up in front of him. Aaron Donald's going to go up against Brunskill. It's not good, and if it doesn't end up good, I want you guys to start to maybe apologize to Mike McGlinchey a little bit.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. No. I'm not even at the point of starting to apologize. If at the second the clock hit 000 on Sunday and you didn't say, I am sorry, Mike McGlinchey, for anything I've ever said negatively about you, you're in the wrong at this point. Chuck, thank you. We appreciate you. Do you think Kyle can become humble enough to do right things and start winning, or prepare to?
No,
maybe.
No.
Maybe. No. Okay. Jason's just
he's just rigid. He's gonna do his thing. But here's the thing. I would be fine with that if you kept the same energy with every single player. If a guy fumbles and he's player 1, or if a guy fumbles and he's player 53, then send him to the doghouse. Don't pick and choose who goes to the doghouse, and don't keep running guys out there that are continuously hurting your team, bro. That's my problem, man. If Josh Norman is trash, get him off the team. That's it, man. You not making an example of that is exactly what I'm talking about with what Kyle Shanahan picks and chooses. Brandon Ayuk is not running fast in practice. Guess what? You get your snaps decreased. Doesn't make sense, man. That's a blue chip player, and this is a veteran who's going to be on this team for maybe 1 season, and that's it. But you let that fly. It's inexcusable, man. It really is. And I'm tired of acting like nobody wants to talk about how his coaching style, there's no one size fits all way to manage personalities, man. And if you are going to be hard on player 1 through 53. If he's a role player or a blue chip player, I would respect it more, even if I disagree with it.
Yeah. And I mean, you talk about the severity of the doghouse and how Norman's, I mean, you're talking about a head coach that his best running back in 2019 wasn't even part of the offense come playoffs because of his fumble problems, and that's how deep the doghouse can get. But it's my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory on the doghouse is Shanahan only doghouses offensive players because that's his baby. That's my guess. It's my conspiracy. I think that's the only difference you could find between Ayuk and Norman is because maybe Shanahan doesn't which would be a whole other issue. Which would be a whole other issue in my mind is Shanahan doesn't put as much stock in the defense as the offense and things like that. Um, and Tim, I get it. McGlinchey isn't bad. He's just not a top 10 draft pick. I understand that. It's just more he's people look at him and think like he's the worst thing there is, and when realistically it's not. We find the one play on him and we pound that and say this is why he isn't good and ignore the 10 other good reps he had. I don't know why I picked on that comment, Tim, if that came off me and I didn't mean to. But yeah, that's just where I'm at with this team, Jason. Is just they don't they don't give me a reason to be excited, man. They're behind 14-0 to Colt McCoy and James Conner in the first quarter. And I'm looking at my clock like, oh my God, there's 45 football minutes left in this game. What are they gonna do to bring me back? What are they gonna do in the second half to bring me back? And they score a touchdown 17-7. Okay, you're starting to feel better. And literally, like the second play of the first half, a screen pass to James Conner, touchdown. And then all of a sudden at the end of the third quarter, it's 31-14. Now there's a 45-minute quarter where I'm just like, I don't want to watch this. It's a borderline unwatchable team right now, if that's even right. But it's, I guess, to put it bluntly, man, there's nothing good going on in Santa Clara, California right now. Well, not as a whole, but in terms of the offices of the 49ers.
Say something positive. Trent Williams is the best left tackle in football.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I think this is where I literally just started laughing out loud. Literally, where I was just like, whatever. At this point, what are you going to get mad about, right? You literally scored a touchdown going into the half. You go into the locker room. Everybody looks at each other in the locker room and says, man, we really need to get a stop. And maybe we can get back in this game. 3 plays. They literally go right down and score a touchdown. I laughed out loud. That's a bad team. Where is the fire? What did you say in that locker room? Did you all just look at each other and sit there and say, well, we're going back out there. Let's try our best. Where's the adjustments? What happened? What happened? And that is what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And this is not a good football team. There's nobody who's going to be able to convince me otherwise. Sorry. That's the sign of a bad football team. Gotta have a stop. Literally get rolled on. Like rolled on. And if it was Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Chase Edmonds, AJ Green, I would feel a little bit better about it. But it was Colt McCoy. Well, we're going to go out there. Let's try our best in the second half. Got rolled on. Rolled on. Absolutely embarrassing. This team has no identity. Who are they? What do they do well?
I can tell you one thing they don't do well: play at home. Josh, thank you for the donation. What is our take on the 49ers playing so poorly at home? My joke, do you want to get off your yeah.
It's built on an ancient Indian burial ground, like in Poltergeist. Remember, the guy bought the house and he didn't know that they built it and they didn't move the bodies. They moved the stones. That's exactly what it is.
My joke I'll always run with is they're not playing at home because they're not called the Santa Clara 49ers. I've ran with that joke. I don't think they're playing poorly at home. I just think they're playing poorly everywhere. I don't think this is a Levi specific situation.
Wait. Do you think Arizona would let us play our home games there?
Maybe.
Again? Okay, now, all right. But see, this is the sort of out-of-box thinking that this organization needs to have. Can we talk to them and say, hey, listen, let's fix this. Can we go back and play in Arizona? And we'll do it again with no fans.
Perfect. Yeah, that works. I think that's fine. But yeah, no, I think the easy answer is they're just, I guess, to lean into Jason's thing, they're not good. And when we're 9 weeks, 8 weeks into this season, Jason, where the first 2 wins of the season on the road, you're looking at an 0-8 Lions team and a 3-6 Eagles team. So like, no matter how bad you are, you need to win that game. And then you look at the other win at Chicago. That's another 3-6 team with a rookie quarterback. The Niners, and I mean, there's arguments to be had that the Niners didn't play great there. They just had a very good second half. And so I don't necessarily think this is a Levi Stadium issue. I just think this is a 49er issue.
Yeah. Hey, say something positive. You got something, Andrew?
Yeah. th- the Niners play on Monday night. ESPN nationally. I don't know. I'm trying. I'm reaching, man. I'm
Oh no,
trying.
wait, that's actually good because I don't have to hear that stupid song.
Oh, I didn't know it was stupid, but okay.
Not yours. Carrie Underwood's the one who sings it.
That's not a stupid song. It's a
It's the
great
worst
song,
song.
Jason.
It's the worst song in the
I'm
world.
sure.
And
You
usually,
give me 3 days, I will find a Monday Night Football meme. Jason Aponte.
look, all right. Here's something positive. Hey there, George Kittle. You're
George
still
Kittle,
good.
very good.
You're still good. That's cool.
Very good. And like I want to talk about that fumble. I kind of touched on it last week about the thing where we tend to look at our players making mistakes and the other team not making good plays. Byron Murphy made a very good play.
Yeah.
Like he just punched that ball out. Kittle's trying to extend the play. Like that's not a play where I am drunkenly yelling into my phone camera about it. Levi Stadium, right? That's just it happens, and there's fumbles and
Oh, this is it right here.
Manning. Oh, is there going to be a Manning broadcast? Boom, something
There's a Manning
positive.
cast. Yeah,
Okay.
that's something positive.
That's something positive. I like that. So that's fun. Oh God, Peyton Manning. Oh no, that's a negative. Peyton Manning doesn't hold anything back, and he's gonna see like the first all 22 where like Ayuk sprinting downfield wide open, and Garoppolo throws it 3 yards down the field, and Peyton Manning's head's gonna explode. Did they fail the oh my God, we're going into stadium blueprints.
This is where we're at.
Tim, we appreciate it. Did they fail to properly capture acoustics at Levi's? Do you think that impacts our advantage? Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty open stadium out there. It doesn't really hold things in. That could play into it.
Home opener was loud. I was there. They were pretty loud. I mean, it's just I can't compare. I've never been to Arrowhead or Seattle.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll ever get as loud as that.
Yeah, let me go into some blueprint research and see what I can find. I don't think I can honestly answer that question. Say something positive. Elijah Mitchell's pretty good too.
Yep, very good.
Nick Bosa was pretty good.
Yep.
He was back there quite a bit.
Eric Armstead played well.
Eric Armstead played very well. I thought he had a very good game
because he was playing inside. Imagine that.
Weird how that. Well, yeah, because that's something I noted. Actually, I took a note, and I noticed a lot more of Bosa on the right side of the offense, or the left side of the defense, to kick Armstead inside. That's a very interesting wrinkle. I think that's fun. I think it's exciting. Ellis, I was at the game. The fans weren't that loud. So there you go. Yeah, no, I don't blame them, man. What is there to be loud about? You're down 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. Like, it's just not exciting. It's just not exciting right now. Hey, Jason, before we get into 3 stars, I do want to say, and Jason said it earlier today, if you're not subscribed to this channel, click that subscribe button, because Jason Aponte, I don't know if Jason knows this, he does way more than just the Sprint Ride Option podcast. He does other things that this channel is fantastic for. So you subscribe, you like, you get those noties, because I need to know anytime Jason Aponte does anything. I know Jason so well that he doesn't know it, but I have like, where's my iPhone on his phone. I know where he is 24/7. And that's why I like the notifications on the YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe, like everything Jason Aponte does, because he is the hardest working man on 49ers Twitter. You cannot tell me otherwise.
What on earth? Wait a minute. So the vaccine was you tracking me and not Bill Gates?
Yes, actually, the vaccine, Andrew Pasquini, don't tell anybody, but I was the one who put the chip in everybody's vaccine, so you should be worried. That's a joke. That's a joke, as the children would say. That's a joke. Please do not yell at me for making jokes about the vaccine. Go get vaccinated. Aaron Rodgers, go get vaccinated.
He just unsubscribed to our channel.
Just unsubscribed. He is immunized, though, which per source is next best thing. Jason Aponte, 3 stars. I'm going to start with my 3rd star. Jimmy Garoppolo, because he didn't play horribly, and I thought he played fine. And we yell at him for not hitting 300 yards enough. Hey, guess what? He hit. Oh, I'm on season stats, and I'm like, oh my God, he threw the ball 213 times on Sunday. Oh my God,
seems like it.
I must have missed something. No, we talk about Garoppolo needing to hit that 300-yard plateau more often. He hit 326. The interception wasn't great, 5 sacks, but oh my God, come on, Tom Compton and Daniel Brunskill didn't really help him on that front. Yeah, he did throw a lot, but I think that's the nature of them being behind 14-0, 17-7, 24-7, whatever it was. I thought he looked fine. He wasn't perfect. So Jimmy Garoppolo is my first star.
Jimmy's fine. And yeah, I mean,
Third
look,
star.
obviously, and 40 times, that's not ideal. That's not what you want, but that's what happens when you can't stop a nosebleed. That's it. So I mean, but Jimmy's fine. And whenever this change happens and they're mathematically eliminated, unfortunately, it's not going to be because Jimmy Garoppolo is absolutely stinking up the joint, right? Like that's just not what's happening. But you can't keep giving him reps at this point, especially when there's not going to be much to play for very soon. So
I think our friend Jordan Elliott said it best on Twitter. Like he's good enough to get you wins, but he's never good enough to be the reason they win. And that's the difference between a average to good quarterback and a very good to elite quarterback. Is there's so many games. I mean, Colt McCoy was a big reason why the Cardinals won that game, right? And I'm not saying anything there. I'm just making a joke. But like more often than not, you look at the Seahawks, right? You don't talk about the defense making plays. You talk about that throw Russell Wilson had in the fourth quarter, down 3 points, that touchdown throw to DK Metcalf. Oh my God, things like that. And so I think that's the best. I think Jordan hit it right with that. Is he doesn't do enough to be the reason they win, but he's good enough to get them to win. That's just what it is.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine, man, and that's it. That's what I mean when I say I feel bad because from the outside looking in, people are just going to be like, "Oh my God, this team is struggling. He's playing terribly." He's not playing terribly. He's been playing very well the last 2 weeks. It's just it is what it is. It's just there's other things going on. This team has a problem with one side starting to click and the other side not clicking. They have not been able to put a full game together where the defense plays well and the offense plays well. You have not seen it. You have not seen it once this year, which leads me to my point that they're not a good team. It's 10 weeks. If this was week 3, I might be able to sing a different tune, but this is what it is. Okay. Third star for me, Deebo Samuel still. I know that he wasn't super involved, but again, another long run after that. Still playing very well. Second in the league in rushing and receiving yards. Still believe that he has a leg up on Cooper Kupp in terms of yards per game. And I know that Cooper Kupp has actually played an extra game than him, but Deebo Samuel is still very good at football.
Yeah, Deebo Samuel just missed the cut for me, but that's because I knew you were going to have him. I'm going to go George Kittle as my second star. 6 receptions, 101 yards, 1 touchdown. Like it's not like George Kittle was ever not good at football. It's just he hasn't been healthy, and when he gets healthy, it's almost like hey, you guys forgot about me as one of the better tight ends in the league because he's been hurt, and that's unfortunate. It sucks. Because he's like the thing is with his injuries, man, is like if he's out, he's hurt. Because this is a guy who what did he do in Arizona on Halloween last year? He did something to his knee. And he finished the game. I think he broke it or something, right?
In 2019? No, he chipped his ankle.
Chipped his ankle. There it was. Yeah, 2019, not last year. 2020 never happened. I firmly, that's my biggest conspiracy theory is 2020 just doesn't exist in the world. Yeah, he chipped his ankle. Like the thing with Kittle is he, he's healthy. He's going to play if the injury isn't severe enough, and he just gets hurt, and that's the wear and tear of especially the position he plays. But when he's on the field, man, and he's being used, that's part of it. Being used, he's one of the most electrifying players in sports.
Nice.
And that's just what it is. So George Kittle, boom.
I like that. Yeah, second star Trent Williams. I mean, he's playing his ass off every single down, even the last down when there's no game to be played. He's just so good, man. He's literally throwing grown men, linebackers, linemen out of the club. Unfortunately, there's no left tackle wins or anything like that for him, obviously. But I mean, he's just incredible. And it's a joy to watch him block. One of the better things that I was able to watch when I would watch that godforsaken All 22 was continuing to watch Trent Williams toss grown men out of the club. That is the best left tackle in football. And it's not particularly close at this point.
Not particularly close. I mean, it's still mind blowing that the Niners were able to upgrade Joe Staley with Trent Williams. That's you know what? I'll say it's been negative. Boom. Say something positive. John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, they were able to replace Joe Staley with Trent Williams. So they
overrule Parag Marathe and say we're actually going to pay somebody. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? I
kept that in. Slipped. Oh, Jason Aponte. We usually do it with Deebo Samuel, but let's see if it works this time.
I think I got it.
Star on a count of 1, 2, and 3. Brandon
Ayuk.
There we go. Brandon Ayuk, first star. Hey, welcome back, buddy. It's good to see you. I don't necessarily think he was late to the club. I just think the bouncer was having some issues letting him into the
Fashionably
club.
late.
Hey, he showed up, 6 receptions, 89 yards, a touchdown, just like Kittle. He had a fumble, whatever, it happens. Fumble. He made a hell of a catch, man, and he tried to make a play. Like, that's the thing. It's like there's some fumbles you can get mad at, like the ones where the fullback runs up the middle, gets the ball knocked out of his hands, wasn't securing it tight enough. The Kittle, the Ayuk ones, they're frustrating. Fumbles are always frustrating, but they're trying to make a damn play in an offense that needs plays to be made. And so, like, you want to rip them for the fumble, sure. I would say pick another battle on the turnovers, because the fumbles are the issue, but there's other issues too with the turnovers that we don't need to divulge in, because we're talking positive. First star, Brandon Ayuk. Jason, give some thoughts on Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, I mean that's the guy that we saw last year, the guy that we expected to
Yeah.
be involved week one. I don't want to talk about what's the reason? Was it the injury? Was it the doghouse? Whatever. Was it some motivational thing? I don't know. Was it mind games? I don't know. But listen, bottom line is this offense is much better, obviously, when all three of those guys are healthy. And I think that's what makes this game a little bit more frustrating, is that George Kittle looks healthy. Deebo Samuel obviously wasn't as healthy, but he still contributed. And then you get that game from Brandon Ayuk, and Jimmy Garoppolo plays as efficiently as they do, and they get rolled on. And that is probably what's most frustrating, is that this offense is relatively healthy, and that was the result that you got. And for all the people, you got to run the ball a little bit more. When I watched the film, those boxes were loaded. And I understand you want to run against those, and I'm not disputing that. I think they should definitely have run the ball much more. But also, you got to take into account they're down, but they took advantage of those looks. And the weakness on Arizona's defense wasn't their pass defense, because Byron Murphy wasn't even there the last time that they played. Byron Murphy was there, and they were relatively healthy on the back end, and they actually took advantage of that. It was Arizona selling out to stop the run. And then when you put that on top of the fact that the 49ers were down 17, whatever, really quick, I don't necessarily fault the play calling as much, but I did want to see them run the ball more. But it's frustrating that you got these performances from George Kittle. You got him. Wait a minute. Targeting George Kittle in the red zone works?
Weird.
What on earth is happening? I mean, I couldn't even believe it. But that's what's frustrating. Like, if I would have told you Jimmy Garoppolo was going to throw for 300, Ayuk and Kittle are going to have touchdowns and long runs and a bunch of catches, you'd have said, man, that offense was humming. They probably won that game. No, because the defense didn't show up, and they have yet to put together a full game. But yeah, I'm happy for Brandon Ayuk. This is the guy that we should expect to see going forward. And you know what? Maybe I'll back off a little bit. 49ers probably have a puncher's chance on Monday Night Football. Let's see what happens, man. Maybe Friday I'll wake up and maybe I want to spin this a whole different way. And let's see. I'll say this. I don't think I'm predicting a win. No. But I am not going to be, doom and gloom 40-0 type stuff, So let's see what happens, man.
Listen, Jason, the Niners never lose to Aaron Rodgers at Levi's Stadium, and Kyle Shanahan never loses to Sean McVay. Just the two facts of the Niners. I don't make the rules. I'm just here to enforce them. Do you have any final thoughts before we go out of here?
No, I'm sorry for yelling, guys.
Oh, you didn't yell. If we had to rank from normal Jason to spicy Jason, that's probably like mild Jason.
So that's like a 7?
That's the Jason, like, it's not too hot for me,
okay,
as the white guy,
So wait a minute. So it was all right. So in terms of that rant after, or the one right after the Arizona game. So it seems like all the Arizona games are the ones that send my blood pressure through the roof.
Oh, right? Yeah, no, you were nowhere near the after
the last one. Okay.
Yeah, you were fine. Okay. You were mild, Jason. I think it's one of those orange packets from Taco Bell. It's not the black or the red ones.
All right.
You ready for me to alienate our fan base with a simple question to Jason Aponte? Because this is honestly, like, the Niner stuff, that was cool. I didn't really want to talk about. I wanted to ask you this question. Matt Olson on the Yankees, man, that seems pretty intriguing to me.
No, Carlos Correa, throw the bag.
No. You can get both.
No, we have a logjam.
Matt Olson's available for trade, sir. You don't have to sign Matt Olson. His contract's not. Oh, you want Matt Olson? I'm gonna send you my secret stash of all 22 of Matt Olson. And
nice. I like it. Watch the damn tape.
Did
you just watch the tape me?
Yeah, I did watch the tape on baseball for you, buddy. Tell Rich I did that. He'd be proud.
You just watched the tape, me?
I did watch the tape.
On
You
a,
want?
oh,
Listen, I'm telling you right now, you want Matt Olson. Just shake your head yes and say, yeah, Matt
Okay.
Olson's a very good addition.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
As a lifelong Braves fan, I could care less what happens to the Yankees.
That's my friend Josh. He's a big A's fan. He knows you want Matt Olson. You very much want Matt Olson, Jason. Okay, beautiful. That was our baseball talk here on the Sprint Right Option podcast. Everybody's favorite segment of the week, because that's what we do here, Sprint Right Option podcast, because we don't necessarily always want to talk about the 49ers losing to the Arizona Cardinals. But hey, man, I hope you guys enjoyed it. We try and keep these things light, but sometimes there's games where it's a little harder to be excited, and this is one of them. And who knows, maybe we come back next Tuesday and we're talking about a heroic effort from Kyle Shanahan's 49ers beating the Los Angeles Rams of St. Louis. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Jason Aponte, as always.
Let's go Niners. Gosh.
But for real, you really want Matt Olson as a Yankee.
Yeah, got it.
For real.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Right Option podcast.